Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of the podcast, The Men in Orange and Black, and today red, white, and blue. We'll get to that in a second. With me is Matt Craig. I'm Steve Murray. This counts. I know we're the Men in Orange and Black, but you have to see the name.
Oh, yeah. Now you can see John LeClaire way back in the when was that? Was it 2002? Yeah, I was going to say 98.
This is the 2002 jersey. Yes.
No, I love it. That's fantastic. Yeah.
When they silvered.
Oh, there you go. They didn't lose to Canada, did they? Or did they?
Yes, unfortunately they did. On home ice. Very disappointing.
That's very disappointing, yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of very disappointing.
Yeah, exactly. we had the same thought there.
Right?
Yeah, we'll get to the Olympics in the third period briefly and talk about why Canada's probably going to win again. But we've got 2 weeks of dreadful Flyers hockey to catch up on.
Yeah.
Season is slowly slipping away.
Yeah.
How are you feeling today, Mr. Matt?
Well, you know, it's funny. Like when you go through the editing process of this wonderful podcast that we do, Steve, and you see and you hear, you know, this very person say, you have to have this Islanders game. If you lose it, it's not good. And you finish the editing process, and it's like,
you finish the editing process after the Islanders game is concluded.
And you're like, boy, I really wish I had a time machine we could take it back. Man, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. Yeah, I think realizations are starting to set in for the team at the moment. And if you had two eyeballs at the beginning of this season, which we both did, you know, we kind of knew that they were playing above expectations, no question. They were in the in the thick of the playoffs. But when you slip and when you have breakdowns defensively, as we'll get to, as we'll share in this pod, you're not going to do well. You're just not going to do well against top competition in the National Hockey League. And that's unfortunately where this team is at right now. And it's going to take a little bit, like a good run. I mean, what was it? I think I heard, like of the remaining 26 games, Bush and Jim Jackson were both kind of speculating, you know what? I think they have to go they have to win like 2/3 of their games the rest of the way out.
Yeah.
And
yeah, well, let's get to the stats. Let's get to the stats.
Yeah, let's do that.
Break and see that.
Yeah.
So you can see their overall record here at the Olympic break. They're 25, 20, and 11, so they're at 61 points. Mm-hmm. The speculation is you're going to need like 96-ish to guarantee a playoff spot, so that leaves them with 35 points to get. You're gonna need to win 16, 17 games and collect some overtime losses in there too.
Oh yeah,
to make that kind of record.
Yeah,
so,
and that's going to be hard.
And we'll look at where they are exactly in the standings in a couple minutes. But their overall record has come down. Unfortunately, we had the high of the Anaheim game, and ever since then, it was sort of like Colorado.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Right. Home record and away record are fairly comparable, so it's not like they're like the Rangers playing crappy at home and well on the road. They're equally at both points. Goals scored, 162 on the season. That puts them at 23rd. I think that's a bit down from last episode. Goals allowed is 177. They're down to 19th. That was where they were really playing well early in the season, and that has really started to dip, and there's some obvious reasons for that and some not so obvious reasons for that. I'm going to show you some of the defensive breakdowns in the third period, but goaltending also plays a large part of that, because when Vladar got hurt, that stretched over this span, and not surprisingly, goals went up. So the good news, power play went up just
a little bit.
So we're over 16%.
I love it.
Somehow, some way.
Hey, we're at least above the Rocky Thompson line, which I'll take.
What's the Rocky? Forgive me. What is the Rocky Thompson line?
That's 15%, basically.
Oh, 15%.
Yeah, so we're definitely above 15% now, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the bad news. I caught part of the Phantoms Wilkes-Barre Scranton game last night. The Phantoms power play is even worse than ours.
Oh, God.
It's operating at a really bad clip, but I digress.
Uh,
Penalty kill also went up a little bit better than the power play went up, but the penalty kill was up to 79.07. That puts them just around league average at this point. So has recovered somewhat. But that's where we stand now. So now we're going to take a look at the standings, where they are both in the Metro and in the wild card position.
yeah.
I leave it to Matt which one we're going to look at first.
Yeah, so we'll
Metro.
take a look at the Metro standings first, and as you can see, we're essentially like 8 points out of third with the Islanders. The good news is that the Islanders have played 2 more games than us, but the gap is so big. You've got to now overtake Washington and Columbus, and then the Islanders in order to get there. So that's
Where the hell did Columbus come from? Like
they won six or seven in a row, I think it was, or something like that. So they've had a little bit of a run, which has been somewhat of a surprise. They're 9-1 in their last 10 as of the time of this recording. So they're starting to come on hot. So yeah, I mean,
and the Devils,
Devils and the Rangers. You have to wonder about those two, because it's like, already was it Panarin was traded to Los Angeles, flipped a couple picks over to the Rangers, so they're pretty much done. I don't think they're definitely not going to make a run at that point. I mean, they are 19, 20 points back of any sort of playoff spot in that regard within the standings of the Metro. And then if we look at the wild card, which I'll get up here real soon, and so if you look at the wild card standings, it's not that much better.
As a reminder, only the top 2 in this board get in as wild cards.
So again, you have an 8-point gap between the second place Bruins. The Sabres were flirting with third in the Atlantic. They've now come down. That's primarily due to Detroit. The Red Wings have had a really, really good year. They're at 72 points. Buffalo at 70. So both Atlantic Division teams in top 2 standings there. So no Metro. Blue Jackets are 4 points back of second. And we are, of course, 8 points back of the Bruins. The Bruins at 57 games played. We're at 56.
So we only have 1 game in hand on them.
Yeah. So we need to make a bit of a run.
If you're going to make the playoffs, it looks like your better option is to try and catch the Islanders, because you have 2 games in hand, and the point spread is the same, and you have fewer teams you have to jump.
Yes.
In the Metro, you only have to get over the Blue Jackets and Capitals at the moment to hop into third place to displace the Islanders, whereas to get into the second wild card spot, you got to jump over a multitude of teams.
At least 5.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a lot, especially when everything has been in the East. They've beaten up really good on the West. There's only one team that has a losing record, and that's the Rangers, and they're pretty much done for the year at this point.
That's the interesting thing. With an identical record, the Flyers would be 2 points out of the second wild card in the Western Conference.
That's something.
That's how difficult the East is at the moment.
Yeah.
And just looking at in the Pacific, they would be in like 5th place instead of where they are, just 2 points out of 2 points out of third place in the Pacific Division.
Right.
The East is tough.
It's going to be.
It's not like the East has a bunch of teams that are head and shoulders above everybody. It's more everybody's just clumped together.
Yeah.
And they're all piling points on, as you said, they're beating the West. And that's going to make things difficult.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And especially considering the fact that there are, as we talked about before, there are so many teams that are so bunched together in the East. No one has really separated themselves in terms of the wild card, although you did see, the Bruins have a decent lead. They've got like a 4-point lead over Columbus, and Buffalo with a 5-point lead. So it's kind of like there's separation, but there's not like a wide gap of a separation. They're not separated by like 10 points or anything like that. So it's still very competitive.
4 points. You have a bad week and the team behind you has a good week, that can evaporate pretty quickly.
Very quickly. Absolutely.
8 or 10, that's another story. But 4-point lead is nowhere near comfortable. I would not be comfortable if I were Bruin fans.
Yeah.
You got to keep piling on.
No doubt.
All right, so let's get into the train wreck of the last 2 weeks.
I'm afraid.
Game by game, we're going to make you suffer.
Yeah, exactly.
As I have suffered.
Right? Oh, goodness.
All right, so first up, after that brilliant victory in Colorado where we spanked the league-leading Colorado Avalanche, coming home to face the Islanders, we were, 2 points out of
2 points out of
behind
third.
them at that point?
Yep. You win, you're tied for third.
This was with games in hand, so this was a huge, huge game. First period, Flyers come out. They get an early power play. Second unit looks really good on the power play, moving the puck around, lots of chances. Just can't get it past Ilya Sorokin. Next power play, though, the first unit, and I put these in quotes, first unit, second unit, because who knows?
Who knows?
The power play's so bad, it doesn't, But the first unit, the non-Michkov, Barkey, Tippett unit, comes out to start that power play and proceeds to give up a shorthanded goal to J.G. Pajot, wherein the puck goes into the corner. 3 Flyers go into the corner with the puck, and nobody picks up Pajot in front of the net. And easy tap in, 1-0.
Yeah.
Second period, Barzal gets a tip, makes it 2-0. Then we get our own shorthanded rush. Tippett going up the ice, but he trips. Puck goes to Emil Andre, but it slides right off of his stick to the Islanders, who get a 4-on-2 going back the other way. And former Flyer Tony DeAngelo finishes that one off to get a power play goal for the Islanders, and then has something to say to somebody on the Flyer bench. I don't know what that's about. Dude just can't make friends anywhere he goes.
Yeah. Probably saying, hey, you shouldn't have given up on me, but, I mean, you gave up on us a while ago. So, I mean, turn the page, bud. I'm just saying. Yeah. Turn the page.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Things don't get much better in the third period. Pajot gets his second goal. I'm going to look at this one, particularly in the third period, with my coach's board. And once again, nobody is with Pajot as he puts it past Ersson. That does it for the scoring. Flyers drop a 4-0 shutout loss to the Islanders in a game I feel like they weren't all that competitive in.
No.
Just to be honest.
No. They came out incredibly flat. In a game you had to have. In a game, like I mentioned before, you win this game, you're tied for the Islanders at third, a team that you beat twice before in the regular season, granted via shootout win, but you've beaten them. And you come in here and you lay probably one of the worst. I don't know, we've had the Rangers game at home. Yeah. We've had the Mammoth game on the road. Now this one. And we're going to look back. If they don't right the ship, Steve, this is probably going to be the worst loss in the entire year, I think, coming out.
Well, as you said, they would have tied for the Islanders had they won the game, right?
Yeah,
in regulation.
Yep.
With 2 games in hand. That puts a whole nother outlook on what just happened the rest of the way, as opposed to now you're 4 points back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a huge swing. They call them 4-point games for a reason. They're massive swings.
Yeah.
And that it's just a shame they couldn't put it together for that one.
Yeah, and I don't quite I wonder if it was, so you're wondering, okay, so what was the whole reason behind this, right? Was it the youth? Was it just the fact that did they have a practice prior? I don't know the answer to that question. The only thing I could chalk it up to possibly was this is the 3rd youngest team in the National Hockey League, and they thought they could just go in there. They've had success against them in the past. Maybe we could just go in there and coast. And they coasted the entire game. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, especially at home. Yeah.
It's that don't get too high after a win, don't get too low after a loss, right? Maybe they beat Colorado. They thumped Colorado.
Yeah.
It's like, Islanders, we beat them already.
Yeah. We don't need to. Yeah. And it's like we're going to be up for this game. And, especially coming off a snowstorm, on that Saturday morning, when it was Saturday into Sunday, and you're thinking people are revved up, ready to go. They're going to go down there. It's a huge, huge regular season game, and they lay a stinker. I mean, nothing to blame but the players.
Let me give you this. Numbers-wise, okay, because we just talked about how 4-point game. Look at the number-wise.
Yeah.
If the Flyers win that game and everything else goes the same as it did the last 2 weeks, Islanders would have had 67 points. Flyers would have 63.
Yeah.
They'd only be 4 points out of a playoff spot.
That gap is much
8.
closer. Yeah. Yeah.
See how much that game mattered.
There's that 4-point swing, as you mentioned before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So, heading into Columbus, Flyers finally get Vlad the Impaler back.
Yeah.
In net. They scratch, somewhat surprisingly, Emil Andre. Hasn't played all that well the last little stretch, so Noah Juleson comes in for him. First period, not off to a great start. Zegras with a turnover at our own blue line. Columbus works it to Charlie Coyle in front of the net. This is the first shift of the game, by the way. The same shift on which Rasmus Ristolainen proceeds to get hurt after he had just come back from being injured. He played one more shift and then did not return thereafter. Flyers do tie it up midway through the period. Konechny gets a goal on a nice shot from the middle of the ice. That was no. When was his hat trick? Was that the Boston?
No, that was this. This was the Travis Konechny hat trick game. He scored all three goals.
You're right. Okay, so this is the start of Travis Konechny scoring all our goals.
Yeah.
So it's 1-1. You're thinking, okay, we could get out of the first period in a tie, but no. Werenski of the Zach variety trips Owen Tippett.
Yeah,
could have been called.
Could have been called.
Maybe not,
Yeah.
Passes to a wide open Kirill Marchenko, and we go into the intermission down 2-1. Early in the second period, Erica Branson gets another goal for Columbus, puts them up 3-1.
First of the year too by him.
Good. I didn't even know that.
Right.
Awesome. Vladimir, the Impaler, holding us in the game, making some huge stops.
Massive stops.
Cross ice backdoor plays to Adam Fantilli, and I think the second one was Boone Jenner.
Yeah.
Matt will fact check me on that because he likes to fact check me.
No doubt. But two tremendous
stops.
saves. Yeah, huge saves.
Tremendous saves. Keeps them in the game.
Yep.
That's important because Konechny, as Matt said, gets the hat trick. He gets 2 goals in the period, including one with the hat trick comes in under 4 minutes to go, tied at 3. It's like, okay, we're back in the game. Get it to overtime.
Yeah. Get a point.
Sean Monahan, backdoor play. Another backdoor play. This time, unfortunately, Vladar cannot get across to make the stop. Up 4-3, and the Blue Jackets ice it with an eng. So they come out of Columbus with a 5-3 regulation.
Yeah. Where was the rest of the offense? I mean, you had Travis with a great hat trick, and it gets you back in the ball game or back in the match or whatever. But where were they? Nowhere to be found. Nobody else anywhere. Just looking at it, outside of the hat trick by Konechny, you had Dvorak with an assist, and then you have defensemen Sanheim, York, Drysdale, and Juleson all with assists. But Cates without a point, Michkov without a point, Tippett without a point, Grunstrom, your boy, without a point, Brink without a point, and my boy, Sean Couturier, who I've called out before, without a point. So it's like you can't just rely on one of your leaders, your assistant captain, to score the goals. There's an opportunity, especially in the third period, where you come back to fight and you tie the game, and then you cough it up so quickly after that. It was, oh my gosh.
That to me is the bigger issue. That you had Konechny was giving you all your offense, but you're still in the game.
Yeah.
And then defensively, you get a breakdown like that right after. You've got all the momentum on your side. You've come back from 2 down.
Yeah.
And to give it right back like that in regulation.
Ugh.
It's just tough.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we swallow that pill going into Boston. Sam Ersson gets the start. Ristolainen surprisingly back in the lineup despite leaving early and not playing the rest of the Columbus game. My boy Grunny and Lane Peterson now back with the Phantoms sit. Nick Delorier and Garnet Hathaway come in. Not a bad start to the first period. Flyers had some early pressure. Good stuff. But then this game really epitomizes the good and bad of Sam Ersson.
Yeah.
So Victor Arvidsson scores from the slot, but it's a shot that Ersson needs to stop.
Yeah.
So 1-0. Snowballs from there. Pavel Zacha gets lost in coverage. He makes it 2-0. I don't blame Ersson for that goal.
Yeah.
But you're down 2-0 now early in the first period.
Yeah.
And it's not good. Not good. Flyers did think they had a goal, but it gets called back for goaltender interference. I don't know what you thought about that. I thought that was kind of weak.
Kind of a weak call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Yeah,
I feel like it's been a little more predictable this season than it has in past, but this one was like, really?
A lot of ticky-tack seems like with a lot of these goaltender interferences. I seem to remember a goaltender interference going back to Carolina way back in the early part of October where they had like a Travis Sanheim coming in, and he just barely touches, Frederick Anderson coming by and bring Potts home a rebound. You're thinking like, oh, we got 2 points out of nope, you don't have 2 points out of Colorado or of Carolina.
Well, so this one, Grabenkin comes in on a partial break, makes a move, loses the puck. His stick gets caught in between. I think it was it Swayman playing this game?
Probably.
I think it was probably Swayman. Gets caught between his pads, and then I think it was TK actually put it in after, and they said, "Oh, not goalie interference," and it's like, well, it was bang bang.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right, so Flyers go into intermission down 2-0. Second period starts. Fraser Minton gets another one for Boston, makes it 3-0. He goes wide. This is probably the worst goal of the night on Sam Ersson. Had to have that one. That one beats him 5-hole, and just not good.
Stick down.
Wait, I don't remember if it was 5-hole or if it went under. He was square to him though. That's the biggest problem. He's square to the shooter.
Square, then you got to make the save. Yeah.
He's square to the shooter. The shooter is wide.
Yeah.
You got to make that save.
Yeah, you got
to have that. Now, to Ersson's credit, he did battle back, had some huge saves in the period, and actually in the first 2 periods, making some absolutely acrobatic saves, keeping the Flyers within 3.
Yeah.
Konechny does get one back after the Minton goal, so it's 3-1. Then comes, this is probably the backbreaker. And this is the other one, I think. No, we're not looking at this one. So they come in. It's another backdoor play. Ersson makes a stop, an amazing stop, but nobody gets Casey Middlestat as the 4th man in the rush. He puts the rebound past Ersson. So it makes it 4-1, and then not long after that, Tanner Jeannot deflects a goal in. It's 5-1.
Yeah.
Grabenkin answered quickly, thankfully, for that. After TK goes on a breakaway, gets stopped not once but twice, and then Grabenkin comes in and bangs some of the rebounds. So you go out of the second period down 5-2. Ersson ends up leaving the game. We find out afterwards it's actually injury-related, not performance-related. So Vladar has to come in, coming off his injury. He's playing on back-to-back nights. Not great.
Yeah.
But he makes all the saves, doesn't let in any more. Boston does get an empty net goal before Michkov pots one on the power play at the end of the game. So at the end of the game, 6-3. I know
kind
Boston
of expected
because
I think we were both not optimistic heading into Boston on the back-to-back.
True.
So there was that whole thing. But again, isn't it the same? It's the same sad story with Sam Ersson, Steve.
Yep.
You don't have him make saves at critical junctures, and he ends up getting hurt again. And here we
that's the worst part about the whole thing. It's he's hurt again.
Here we go again with him, and it's like it's in and out, in and out, in and out, in the midst of his inconsistencies, and that has really been a very rocky road with him, and his entire career has been that way. And I would love to be able to say, and hopefully this happens for him, that he turns himself around and gets more consistent in that. But when you put in at least 2, by my count, sounds like 2 of them should have been stopped.
Yeah.
2 of them. All of a sudden, that's 4-3. And who knows? I mean,
well,
of course, the game.
That goal in there, too. So,
yeah.
3-3 on goaltenders.
There you go. So it's you have to make those saves at critical junctures in the game, especially when your defense breaks down.
And somebody might say, well, he also stopped some that probably should have gone in the other way, so maybe it evens out in the end. But when you look at it, it was the first goal of the game was a muffin that he let it go in.
It just
that changes the whole
complexion of the game. Yeah,
complexion of the game.
You just can't do those things, and especially when you're desperate to get points. On top of that, it doesn't bode well.
I mean, it's heroic that he's making these amazing saves, but we're already down 3-0 at that point.
Yeah.
Let's not get down 3-0. Let's make the routine saves.
Yeah,
okay?
No doubt. Yeah.
Right. So, all right. So the Flyers stumble back home to play the LA Kings, who thankfully left their chrome domes in LA.
But let me tell you something. Because I watched a little bit of this first period. Wow. I had never seen. They were running around the defensive zone. I don't know if you noticed that. They could not get any discipline defensively. It was unbelievable. And thank God there was when they scored 2 and they added a third, and they were barely. I mean, they were offsides, but barely. Thank God for Thank God for our video guys that picked it up. Could you imagine if they were down 3-0 within the first 5 minutes of this game, or something along the first 10 minutes of the game would have been down 3-0. But thank God that would put a stop to that. It was ridiculous.
Right. Well, the first goal by Adrian Kempe, we will be talking about in the third period. That's the second goal I'll be putting on the coach's board. So he gets that scoring started. Then he gets a second goal in which 3 guys are caught behind the net, and he gets lost in the slot. So it's Adrian Kempe 2, Philadelphia Flyers 0.
Yeah. And he was feeling it. He was feeling it throughout that first period, yeah.
He was. And then the offside negates a goal by former 7-game Flyer Andrei Kuzmenko, which would have made it 3-0.
Right.
Now, the good news in that period was the Zegras-Michkov-Brink line that had been put together for that game actually looked pretty decent, getting some offensive chances.
Shoot the puck.
But you got to shoot the puck. Shoot the puck, guys.
Wait, and I wonder if that was more along the lines where Zegras was passing and expecting Michkov and Brink to shoot it. Because I think there was one particular play in particular down in the corner, and I think Trevor, I think there was a turnover in that defensive zone, and I remember just out of the corner of my eyes seeing Zegras go like that, expecting Michkov to Michkov or Brink to be in a slot, and they weren't there. That kind of a deal. And it was a complete mix-up. And they're back the other way, and it's like Zegras is just head to the ceiling at that point, and you're skating back, and you're trying to get back on defense. But I mean, it was a good put together line. I would say patchwork together line there, but I mean, you got to shoot the puck. You have to shoot the puck. Period.
Now the good news is Michkov draws a cross-checking penalty on Drew Doughty to end the period. The power play carries over to the second. Zegras puts in a power play goal on a nice tic-tac-toe play.
Yeah.
Connected to Brink to Zegras.
Yeah, probably one of the more nicer goals of the year, I would say.
Yeah. The second period, they did improve upon the defensive coverage. So that improved. They just could not break through and score another goal in that period. Early in the third, Risto gets a shot that Travis Konechny ends up deflecting. That ties it at 2. Flyers did play well through the second and third period, so we give them that. Yeah. Then we get to overtime. Konechny with a brilliant opportunity off the post. And then a little bit later in the overtime period, Byfield scores for L.A., so the Flyers drop one to the Kings, 3-2 in overtime.
So what are your thoughts there on that game? I mean, you got a point.
Better first period.
Yeah, that first period was a disaster.
Better first period, you win that game.
Yeah.
It's just the bottom line.
That's the bottom line there. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, the homestand continues after the Flyers Carnival, which we'll get into in the second period. Dan Vladar again gets the start against the Washington Capitals. My boy Grundstrom comes back in for Hathaway.
Let's go.
Let's go. Flyers first period, though. D'Lo takes a penalty early. And you're like, oh, God, Ovechkin's on the power. They actually kill it off. Good job.
Yeah.
And then Owen Tippett gets a beautiful goal on a good passing play. Michkov circles behind the net, finds Travis Sanheim, goes back across, and then Tippett comes in, forehand, backhand around the goaltender, gives the Flyers a 1-0 lead.
Almost very similar to their Los Angeles power play goal. Nice tic-tac-toe passing. Good. In a way.
But the Zegras power play goal was a one-timer. This was not a one-timer. This was,
nice forehand.
But you're right. It's like cross-ice back the other way passing.
Get that goalie
that,
moving.
I agree with you.
Yep.
Yes. Otherwise, I disagree. Dan Vladar playing very well, keeping the game at 1-0. Capitals did have some nice chances, but Vladar was the brick wall we've come to know and love. Second period comes out. Grundstrom gets his first goal in a while with a nice bounce off of the skates of Jacob Chychrun.
I love it.
So,
your boy with the 8th of the year. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
On a stupid goal that shouldn't have happened. Those are the perils of playing defense. We know that.
Yeah.
And then Protas for the Capitals, who is a large man, I must say, dwarfing pretty much everybody else out on the ice. He gets a shorthanded goal on one of the Flyer power plays to cut that deficit in half. After that, Bobby Brink has an unbelievable chance on the net. But I guess karma for the Grundstrom goal. This one goes off the crossbar, off the pipe, off of the goaltender's back. The goaltender flails his arm backwards, hits it with his tricep
Yeah.
away from the net. It bounces off a defenseman and that other way. Ridiculous. So Grundstrom's lucky bounce negated Brink's.
By Brink's, yeah, ridiculous, denials there. Yeah, that's insane.
Right.
Yeah.
So we end the second period 2-1. Third period, Anthony Beauvillier unfortunately ties it up early in the game. And so we're on pins and needles because the Flyers haven't won in a while and things are not going well until with 5 minutes left to go, Jamie Drysdale gets us on the board with a power play goal.
I love it. That was huge. That was massive,
Absolutely.
I think, for his career, and really for the growth of his young career to come in and with 5 minutes left in the game to score that huge power play goal, and it was huge, massive goal, 3-2, and then Risto with the empty netter from way downtown.
I was going to say, let's give him the credit he deserves. This is Risto falling down in between his own circles, firing it down. And this was not a dribbler. This was from way downtown. Yeah, way downtown. Bang. So he preserves a 4-2 victory for the Flyers. They finally get off the winless Schneid since Colorado.
Yeah.
And then to wrap it up before the Olympic break, the Ottawa Senators come into town. Vladar in net again, because who's going to trust Alexei Kolosov when you're needing wins? Hathaway comes back in for D'Lo. Probably did himself no favors taking that early penalty against Washington. First period, nothing happens.
It kind of reminded me a lot of like the old '90s Flyers hockey games, right? A lot of catching and grabbing, and not a whole lot of offense. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Second period, Ottawa gets a goal. Nick Cousins gets a rebound in a little bit of scramble. Otherwise, nothing else happened in the second period. Flyers have 8 shots through 2 periods.
Ottawa, by the way, 21 through 2 periods of play. 21-8 in terms of total shots. 8-2 in the first period for shots taken. Ottawa against Philly there.
So, like I said, nothing happened.
Nothing
in
happened.
the first period.
Yeah.
Third period, nothing happens mostly for the third period.
That was a tough watch, man. That really was a tough watch.
Yeah, thank God my son was playing a high school game that night.
It was
Flyers pull Vladar. Drysdale from the point gets the goal, ties the game at 6-on-5. Way to go, Jamie. He is the new TK, scoring all the goals.
I was just going to say, too, on top of that, Steve, I watched that the entire third period, and Ottawa was definitely playing like a 1-2-2. Definitely good defensive structure throughout the neutral zone. Very difficult.
Well, they had to because they had James Reimer in there.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. So you're playing good defense in front. Flyers ultimately were trying to chip and chase, and they couldn't do that, and it was a lot of scrambling. But with 3 minutes to go, they kept the puck in the offensive zone. It was an amazing keep by a lot of Flyers. Good passing, good communication, couple shots on net, one that went, a couple that were deflected wide, and then Drysdale walks the line, takes the shot. Or actually, he was coming in off of the top of the circle. He was coming
kind of in at an angle a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. And he rips it right past Reimer. And it was a great goal. Huge goal. To get us at least a point, because obviously Tim Stützle wins it in overtime on a ridiculous backhand. It was like he undressed Sanheim of all defensemen. And it was just, really? Yeah. But
well, what led to that though was Travis Konechny on a 2-on-1 with I was about to call him Radek Dvorak.
Christian Dvorak.
Christian Dvorak, no relation, I'm pretty sure, to Radek.
100%.
Misses the net. Now, there's a question, did Reimer actually make a save? I don't know. I haven't looked at the replay close enough. But this part of the story of this game, as I understand it, was the Flyers had something like 15 missed shots. Hit the net, guys. Especially with James Reimer in net.
Yeah.
The dude got picked up off the trash heap.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Just put it on net.
Come on.
Don't have to be smart. Just put it on net. That's all. That kind of a deal. But then back the other direction, and it was clockwork. Tim Stützle comes in.
Yeah.
Undresses Sanheim and Vladar. With Vladar, though, with some choice words, of course, like, Ottawa's talking trash. And Vladar's like, oh, fuck you.
What was that all about?
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't know. That was weird.
Yeah.
that was bizarre.
Yeah.
I have to say. I mean, I did not. If you had a bingo card, Vladar going all Tony D'Angelo on the Ottawa Senators was just not going to be on it.
Yeah, so. Whatever. That kind of a deal. And so, you finish the season series with Ottawa in that regard. But, tough Another tough couple of weeks there, bud.
Yeah.
You got 4 points out of a possible 12. So, and that was off 5 points of the previous. So it was not very good. You don't have a very good January at all. 4 total regulation wins, which we'll get to in the second period. I'll discuss more on that. But at least you end the early part of February, at least on a positive 3 points out of a possible 4 in the start February. But you got a lot of work to do at the end of the day.
I mean, if you had ended at the break after the Washington win, I'd say, yeah, you're ending on a positive note. Yeah, you got a point out of Ottawa. Yeah, you had comeback, but
yeah,
just the way they played in the Ottawa game, that doesn't
sit well.
Maybe it's just they saw the break coming and it's like, we just got to get there. And they were just hanging on. I don't know. All right, and into the second period we go. We're going to have the usual studs and duds for the last 2 weeks. A little hard to find some studs, but we did it anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Easy to find some duds.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Then
we're going to have Concernometer because some other things happened the last couple weeks.
And very fortunately that we always tag our podcast at the top of the show of being a sane Philadelphia Flyers podcast.
I forgot to do that. Yes. We are the podcast for the sane. I was so excited about showing off my John LeClaire USA jersey. We are the podcast for the sane Flyer fans.
And we will explain why in a minute. Exactly. Which I'm really looking forward. I was so jazzed up, as you know, as we were texting back and forth heading into this. I know. Cannot wait to go off. Cannot wait. So, calm down. Let's go.
Okay. All right, let's get started. We'll start first with the Studs from the last 2 weeks. I'll let Matt go first since he stole it from out.
Yes, I did steal it from you. I was originally going to go connecting, but I nominated him 2 weeks ago. So, understand he did well, but how about this young kid, Jamie Drysdale? Brother, I think you're spot on. 5 of 5's been much better, but the 2 huge goals this entire week. The game winner against Washington. You also had a tying goal against Ottawa. Massive, massive goals for this young kid. He has 5 goals in the year right now. Over the last 5, he had 3 points in his last 5 games. He was even. The Kings, he had a difficult game, -2. But on the way up with him right now, which is really good to see. I like the way he's playing, and especially coming through in the clutch where it was like you needed a goal from somebody other than Travis Konechny on the team to put one in a key moment, and for him to do that twice in back-to-back games like that, where, it was really hanging in the balance. Both games were hanging in the balance, and if you don't come away with at least, if you don't score a goal there in both instances, you're easily looking at something where instead of 3 points, you're maybe getting 1. I mean, it was that dire. So for him to step up in that regard and score those 2 goals to end, heading into the break, I should say, huge for his confidence. I can only imagine, and 23-year-old kid, and for him to come through in the clutch like that, massive. I've been very impressed with his play overall. And great to see him do it well.
Yeah, no, I've been singing his praises all season.
Oh, yeah.
And you're right. This is absolutely confidence builders for him because they were huge clutch moments, and now he has the knowledge that, hey, we need a big goal late. I can contribute in that regard. And it gives Tocchet the confidence. He's like, I could put Jamie out there in those situations, and he has the possibility of producing. They were both absolutely brilliant goals. And I'd love to see how this confidence propels him in the rest of the season. That's huge.
That's massive.
The defensive game has been there all year. Offensive game has not been quite there. Maybe this helps boost his confidence in the offensive zone.
He's getting the shifts. He's averaging 20 to 23, 24 minutes per game. So
he actually, at least one of these games, I think he was actually the team leader in ice time.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Usually that's like Sanheim.
Yeah.
As your number 1, but I think Drysdale at least once had the team lead in ice time.
Yeah, Columbus, I think this week, he had 33 shifts with averaging, our time on ice was 26 minutes. He had 3 shots on net in Columbus. It was a +1 with an assist. So that might be the game you're referring to, Steve. I don't know. But, I mean, it's huge. Massive
Oh,
boost in his
that's the
conference.
game Risto left.
Yes.
So you had 5 defensemen.
So you're putting him in there. Yeah. But he's averaging 20 to 24 minutes per game, and that's great to see. As a young defenseman, that's only going to build his confidence. So I couldn't be more pleased with him in that regard. That's my stud.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So to my stud, this was after you stole Drysdale from me. This was rather easy. It's Dan Vladar.
Oh yeah.
His worth was absolutely proven while he was out injured. When you had Ersson and Kolosov unable to really hold the ship down outside of the Vegas and Colorado games, which after what's gone on the last 4 or 5 weeks, I'm still trying to figure out how we pulled those out of our ass. Especially since Vladar was not in net for either of those 2 games.
Yeah.
But in the games Vladar has played, he has been outstanding. He was terrific in the Washington game, keeping it 1-0 early. He was very good in the Kings game. He was, good in Boston in relief.
Oh yeah.
Nothing was really. I mean, his first game back was Columbus, so it knocked the rust off there. But Vladar really has been a very good goaltender for this team, and I think has shown he can be the bridge, I think, to either Bjarnason or Zavragin as the goaltender of the future. I think he can be the bridge here.
I think you can easily see it. And maybe it makes me think about it, Steve. You have Ersson going away. Like, this is his last year of his contract. I don't think the Flyers re-sign him. So with that being said, you probably could bring up, one of your 2 young goaltenders, and you already have Vladar slated for next season. So that might be an opportunity there. And then do you sign Vladar on top of that for another 2 year? I don't know, but it at least gives you that flexibility. At least we now have a number 1 solidified, a really good, solid goaltender here who's had just a tremendous year. 17 wins on the year. He has a goals against average of .247 and a save percentage of .905. I mean, that is going to put you in at least right in the mix. And if you had Ersson,
it's going to keep you in games.
It's going to keep you in games. And then it's like if you had Ersson with like a semi, if he was somewhat semi better, then all of a sudden we're talking a little bit different. So I think, so he's been huge. I saw his praise when we did our midseason report cards, giving him an A+, and he's proven it. He's absolutely proven it. I couldn't agree more in regards to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we go to the duds, milk duds. Your boy, I'm giving it to your boy, Trevor Zegras. He's only got 3 points in the last 6 games and was -6 over that span.
Yeah.
Now the good news is he has had a point in each of the last 3 games, so that's good. He is coming out of the slump. The slump really kind of started after Anaheim. He scored those 2 huge goals.
Yeah.
And after that, he's been kept off the score sheet a number of times.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's to be expected. He's had a great season up to this point. He was going to slump sooner or later. He was going to slump sooner or later.
Yeah.
And it's come now, and unfortunately, it has also coincided with the team slump. So you wonder how that relates, if at all. I have no doubt he's going to play his way back out of it. I think he's shown the resilience. I think he's on his way.
Yeah.
He's been put back in the center position the last few games by Tocchet because we got to figure that out at some point.
With Obels being hurt, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's a slump. Everybody goes through it. And just hopefully it ends sooner rather than later. I think he's working his way out. But, yeah, it hasn't been terrific the last few games.
Yeah, he's been unusually quiet. And in order really for the team to make a run, you need him to be really more consistent. And, every once in a while get red hot where you're scoring 2 goals a game, that kind of a deal. Yeah. You need him to come back if you're going to make a push. And that's going to be the question as we head into late February and early March. How well can he get kind of rebooted and restarted up again coming off this break? So, yeah,
hopefully the break will give him a good time to rest, get away from it, come back refreshed, and really pick things up.
100%.
Because, I mean, last season he was out hurt for a lot, so he didn't play. He's probably played more already this season than he did last season.
Oh, yeah.
His body is catching up to him at this point.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I think that has a lot to do with the injuries he sustained over the last couple of years in Anaheim. So I think that, to be able to keep coming up and playing, that's huge, for his body.
Especially with the compressed schedule.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's a good call. Yeah. Yeah, for
All
me,
right, you're copping out, so let's go.
I am copping out because
I cop out all the time on my dud, so it's cool.
it's hard to find it when the entire team only has 4 regulation wins in the entire month of January.
Fair.
Like, that's not good enough, period. Granted, 6-game losing streak. Were they playing above their heads? Probably a little bit. But you're not like that. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Team discipline was a huge factor in all this. Mm-hmm. They're running around not knowing what's going on. LA Kings game in that first 10 minutes of that game was atrocious. Yep. I remember shouting at my television, just play some defense, please. Like, I'm
picturing you throwing shoes.
I was like, will you please? I don't want to turn this game on. This is awful. I don't want this big 9-0. But I mean, they obviously came back and, with an overtime loss there, but 4 regulation wins, especially when you beat the likes of Edmonton and Colorado in that month and Vegas. All on the road, I might add, all on the road. You beat them, and it's like, if you even show up against the Rangers, or you get a point out of Toronto, or you show up against the Islanders at home, where it's this is a massive game, a 4-point swing, as we talked about earlier, and you don't even bother to show up. I mean, that's the entire team, and it can't be just like Konechny, Drysdale. They were the only ones. Like, where is Sean Couturier? Where is Bobby Brink? Where the heck is Owen Tippett? It seems like Owen Tippett, here we go again, Steve, up and down with him. And it's like, I want that Peugeot car to be a Ferrari in the worst way. I really do. But it's like, I'm starting to wonder about him. I really am. I don't want him to be this Peugeot where it's like you have to start the car and then turn the ignition on. Let's go. Let's get going here.
Yep.
That kind of a deal. And, he's been quiet, over the last few games outside of Colorado. He had a tremendous game against the Colorado Avalanche. And then where was he?
He hasn't been on the score sheet.
But that's where we need him to be.
I understand that, but he has been noticeable.
Okay.
He's making stuff happen. He's driving the net. I forget which game it was.
Yeah.
He drew a penalty.
Yep.
It was Washington game, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, Washington game. He drew a penalty on Chychrun because he chipped the puck by him, outskated him, and then when Chychrun caught up to him, he outmuscled him, and Chychrun was forced to haul him down. So he's not on the score sheet, but he's doing the right things.
Yeah.
Whereas previous Tippett, it's like, what did he arrive at the game?
Like where is he?
Where is he?
Yeah.
You're at least seeing his presence on the ice now. And I missed a lot of the Ottawa game. I have no doubt many of the missed shots were from him. His MO. He needs to concentrate on getting his shots to go on the net more than missing.
It's like high and wide. Like another guy that we know.
I can't believe I'm sitting here having to defend Owen Tippett during your duds.
I know.
You're right.
I just want him on the stat sheet.
They didn't have any overtime wins, did they? So those 4 wins.
Yeah.
Period in January, right?
Yeah, 4 wins in January, the entire month. I mean, that's just not going to get it done. And it showed, obviously, you slide in the standings as a result of that. By the way, Owen Tippett, 1 shot on net for the Senators game. That's just 1 shot on net.
Well, that's on net.
Correct.
Yeah. How many shots did he take?
Could have been, over the top. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
now, again, I think we talked about this last episode. This has coincided with a perfect storm of things.
Yes.
We've caught a lot of teams that were playing hot. Our defense has dipped. Zegras is slumping. Vladar got hurt.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of factors that go into this, some of which are on the team, some of which are not. But you see again why those early season games matter.
Oh, yeah.
To keep you afloat.
Oh, yeah.
And why you need to get points every time you can. You can't just not show up for the Islander game.
Yeah, you can't coast. Yeah. Or not show up. And get shut out at home by the Islanders. So, yeah. Exactly. All right.
Even if it was Ilya Sorokin who shuts us out all the time.
Of course he does.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to get to the concerno-meter because there are things to punch about.
Let's go.
All right. So some things happened.
Really?
Unlike the Ottawa Senator game. Some things happened off the ice, which warranted some additional discussion in the media and from the front office.
Yeah.
we're going to lead off with the big one that occurred. So at the Flyer Carnival last Sunday, following the LA Kings game, the good folks at all
PHLY Sports,
PHLY, yeah. Specifically Bill Matz, had Tocchet for an interview on their program, and specifically asked him, hey, what does Michkov got to do to, not play 10 minutes a night and actually get more ice time? And so Tocchet, who apparently has grown tired of being asked about Michkov all the time, gave his typical canned response of, well, he didn't show up in the camp in shape and blah, blah, blah. And, he's working, etc. And some folks around here
lost their ever-loving minds. Saying.
Look, yeah, so they perceive that Rick Tocchet has a problem with Matvei Michkov and is cutting his ice time for nothing other than spite. You can return a coat for spite, but you can't hold Michkov's minutes down for spite.
Right.
And a lot of this brings back the fact that there are some people in this town who feel that you cannot say one bad word about Matvei Michkov.
Yeah.
They're frankly the clones of Canadian fans who you dare not say Lord and Savior Ivan Demidov. Let's not become Montreal Canadiens fans.
Right.
I don't know. I'm gonna send it to you first. What's your take on this whole thing? Because I think it's my I'm at a 3.
You're at a 3.
I'm at a 3. I don't perceive this. I mean, Danny Briere came out the 2 nights later before the Washington game, had a shut the F up press conference of like, guys, Tocchet, they're cool.
Yeah.
Tocchet realizes if he wants to stick around this team, Michkov has got to perform. He's got to help Michkov perform.
Michkov's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So
I'm not worried about it.
I'm not either. I would say 2. So slightly below you, but I mean, much ado about nothing. This is a second-year player. The guy is, how old is he now? He is 21 years old. He's not going anywhere.
He wasn't even supposed to be here.
He wasn't even supposed to be here yet. Exactly.
This was supposed to be his last year in the K.
Yeah, exactly.
He was not supposed to be here. This is bonus time for him.
Yeah, he's played like over 100. He's like 135 games. He's shown to be an incredibly durable player for a 21-year-old, which is tremendous. He has 92 points in his entire career. He's fine. Like, I kept thinking, like, your point on like Briere was like, shut the F up. This was my his interpretation of RELEX. Like, just relax. It's like, I get it. Everyone, there's this hype of him being like the next big thing, the next Eric Lindros. He's not Eric Lindros. He's much smaller than Eric Lindros. He's a playmaker. There's no question about it. And this team, as currently constructed, it's not a playoff team. We thought about this all the way back in October when we have been saying. We have been saying ever since the start, we know that this team is lacking in a lot of different areas. And in order to get there, in order to take the next step, what do you got to do? Well, you got to get more skill, and then you got to learn how to win. Both of those two things right now. Yeah. And that's where they're not having it at the moment. This has nothing to do with Tocchet. There's nothing to do with his coaching style. It has everything to do with the lack of talent the organization currently has. And guess what? They're building. They're getting younger. They are the 3rd youngest team. You've got a Porter Martone who's ripping it up in the NCAAs that I have no doubt is going to come in here in his rookie year and tear it up. Probably get like 40 to 50 points, which I'm going to absolutely love to see him play alongside. It's going to be, possibly resign Zegras. I think that would be a huge thing for them to have. But this is ridiculous. He came in, Michkov, underprepared. He knows it. He's taken that. One thing that I loved about Michkov, he takes the criticism and he's like, you know what? Damn it, you're right. And I'm going to go out there. I'm going to prove to you why I'm one of the best players, one of the best young players in the National Hockey League. Yeah. And it may take me a while, but damn it, it's not on Tocchet. It's just not.
There's certain things that Tocchet has done. He only played Michkov 10 minutes in that LA game.
Yeah.
Which to me is low.
Very much so, yeah.
But Tocchet himself has admitted that sometimes player time gets lost in the shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand if Michkov is not the top of his list of guys I need to get out there because I understand the frustration of people. They're seeing like Macklin Celebrini, right? He's like third in the league in scoring, and he gets huge ice time.
Yeah.
Well, it's chicken and egg. Is he getting all these points because he's getting all that ice time, or is he getting the ice time because he's producing?
I would like to point out, too, San Jose is not a playoff team, and they are in the exact same situation that we are.
Well, you got to play the young kids. Well, I'm going to play a young kid who's producing. If I'm trying to win, if the young kid's not producing, I'm not going to give him as much ice time as I might otherwise do.
Yeah. And
right?
if Michkov is not playing good defense, guess what?
It's defense. It's if he's not playing good defense, but he's putting up a point per game, you can live with it a little.
100%.
But he's not. And that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
If he were producing at Celebrini levels, then playing him 12, 13 minutes a night would be malpractice. I'd be like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
But he's not.
Yeah.
And it's not like if he got more ice time, he's going to produce more. I mean, just by the nature of you're on the ice more, you'll get an extra point or two.
Yeah.
But he's not going to turn into Macklin Celebrini production just by getting an extra 2-3 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, 100%.
So but Tocchet does lose things sometimes. Mm-hmm. I think he has not been, I don't think he's handled it as well as he could have.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the attitude, I understand he might be frustrated, but you got to understand, Michkov is the thing here.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get asked about it. So you got to kind of hide the frustration you get. You know, and especially when you're in a losing streak like this, it's going to ramp up.
Yeah,
you got to be a little more diplomatic about it.
100%.
And I think that message will eventually get across to him, and I think it already kind of has.
Oh, I think so too.
And I'm sure the Briere press conference might have had something to do with it.
100% it did. Yeah, 100%.
But Tocchet is not to blame for everything. And I certainly don't think he deserves a majority of the blame as people are trying to give him.
I 100% agree.
You said Michkov showed up out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
Michkov himself has admitted it.
Yeah.
And, people, whoa, it's February. Why is he still bringing that up? Because when Michkov arrives here and everybody else is here, later in the season, it's not like he gets to here and everybody else stayed the same. Everybody else is now here.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's
you need time. Now, could he make some of that up in the Olympic break? Maybe he could close that gap a little bit.
How much do you think that's going to I mean, that is going to be squarely on MM39. 100% it is.
Look at what he did after Four Nations last year.
100%. Yeah.
I looked this up on Hockey Reference. He is actually only like 6 or 7 points lower than he was at the Four Nations break last year. And with as bad a season as he's had.
Yeah.
He's not far off where he was, and he picked it up after Four Nations.
He sure did.
If he does the same thing after the Olympic break, we're having
you get him going, yeah.
And the funniest thing about this whole thing is people are like, well, Tocchet's talking shit about Michkov. Michkov's going to want out. Remember where he came from, okay? No. Coaches in Russia do things that border on human rights violations.
Yeah.
Saying a bad thing or two about him here, as Tocchet did,
it's
as
water off
Tortorella sometimes did, who Tortorella he liked.
Yeah, it's like water off a duck's back, according to Michkov. It's like, what?
I don't think he's freaking out about it.
I don't think so either.
I am sure he wants desperately to be a part of this and to be playing better.
Yeah.
He's just got to work his way into it.
Yeah.
So everybody just calm down.
Yeah, 100%. Great stuff. Yep.
All right, so I'm going to let you introduce the next Concernometer issue.
Yeah, this is I'll say I'm looking at this at two ways. Hunter Brody, of course, went on his own Broads Media podcast. So I'm not going to give you the whole, well, maybe we'll give you like one of the links to his stupid videos. But he was basically...
Look, let me say again.
Yeah.
Because just so you can cut this when it comes time to talk about Hunter.
Yeah.
You did with my positive Demidov comments that were strategically cut from the link that you posted that got Canadians fans angry at me.
I got all upset. Yeah, exactly.
Hunter Brody says a lot of things that I agree with.
Yeah, well,
and as long as he is being rational, I can listen to it. It's when he starts to yell.
Yeah.
And the what do you call them? The thumbnails for his videos are him twisting his face into a pretzel.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's his shtick. I get it.
Yeah, it is his shtick. I totally agree.
But I do think he is overreacting to the latest Flyers meltdown. So I will let you introduce.
And that's the thing that I would want to say, because he wants to essentially reboot the rebuild. He wants to go scorched earth policy. Fire Briere, fire Jones, maybe fire Hilferty, who the heck knows, get him to sell the team, fire Tocchet, that whole thing. It offered zero in terms of replacements. Zero. Nothing. So my question to you, I'm looking at it both, from a concernometer perspective. How concerned are you that we should reboot the rebuild? And how concerned are you about Hunter Brody, the person? So I will give you the person. For a reboot the rebuild, zero. We're fine. This is going to happen. I'm glad the Flyers had the balls to basically say, hey, listen, we're in the rebuild process, okay? We're the third youngest team in the NHL. We're building this slowly. It's going to take some time to get this done. They've always said that. They've always had consistent messaging for the first time in probably 15, maybe 20 years. Because this Flyers organization has had a very difficult time actually telling you what the hell's going on. Sure. Now they're telling you what's happening. Now we're buying into the fact that they're all young. And I get it. We want a winner. I totally understand that. We want to get in the playoffs. I totally get it. But this is a classic case of Eagles fans getting upset over the fact that their Eagles team lost in the NFL playoffs. They come over to the Flyers. They see, oh, wow, they're doing pretty good. Did you hear? They beat Edmonton. They beat Vegas on the road. They're going to do very, very well. And then they go through a 6-game losing streak. Oh, we should blow the whole team up. And I'm like, do you not know what we've watched throughout the entire year? Yeah. Do you have eyeballs, right? You see what the hell's going on? Yeah. So my concern about Hunter Brody as a person is 10. Dude, dial it. I understand the frustration. I get it. But, dude, if you have two eyeballs and you see what the hell is happening, you know that what we're doing is the right thing, right? We're not trying to say that what am I saying here? I'm basically saying just be patient. Be more patient. I know that's hard. I get it. I understand it. But I want to be the Florida Panthers in maybe 5 years, where we're always contending to be in the Stanley Cup or to be in the finals or whatever the case. And we're adding players and they want to come here. I totally get it. But, dude, you got to pull it back. That's where I'm thinking my concern for him as a person is at 10.
Yeah, my concern for him is a 6, because I'm just afraid he's going to give himself an aneurysm because of screaming.
Yeah.
But as far as the rebuild, I'm at a 1.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm at a 1 is, the concern that he raises, I think he wants a tear it down to the studs. He's one of these tank people.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta do a Chicago, you gotta do a San Jose, you gotta suck terribly for years and amass those top 5 draft picks. And I'm going to say, oh, look at the Buffalo Sabres.
I was just going to say, look at Buffalo, right? I mean, yeah.
You got to do it right. I understand. Yes, we need a number 1 center. Yes, we need a number 1 defenseman. Mm-hmm. I have questions. What do you mean when you say a number 1 center?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean you need to have a Nathan McKinnon? Because that's rare. Who, by the way, Nathan McKinnon also in a 2nd-year slump, just like one Matvei Michkov.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
Do you need a Nathan McKinnon? I don't think you necessarily need a Nathan McKinnon 1C. But do the Flyers have a 1C? No, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
They do need one. But I don't think it's to the level. You don't need Crosby. You don't need McKinnon level.
So right? Here's
Same
the
thing
thing
with 1D. Same thing with 1D. Do you need Victor Hedman? Probably not. Look at Florida and tell me who on that team you consider a 1D if you think 1D is like Chris Pronger level.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But that's the thing. This town, though, demands a 1C. See, that's the thing. They want that number 1 center because I think for so many years, they look back to the Lindros era. There is a 1C. There is but that's the thing. He was a once-in-a-lifetime generational talent. He was unbelievable here. No question about it. And he fit the city absolutely perfectly. He was an absolute gem of a human being and a great player.
But Lindros is a perfect example of you can't just get a 1C. You need depth. We got to the 97 finals on the strength of one line.
Yes.
And then we lost to a team of Hall of Famers because our second line was Trent Klatt and Sean Podine.
Yeah. And maybe Rod Brindamore.
No.
And it was really Brindamore was you could interchange with the Legion of Doom, but you had nobody else after that. Whereas Detroit had 3. They were depth. They were all 3 lines was ridiculous.
600 goal scorers on that team.
Yeah, it was totally ridiculous.
Come on.
Yeah.
But I digress. Anyway, so yes, I understand. We need a 1C. We don't necessarily need Crosby level 1C, which I think people get lost in. Like, oh, how are you going to land that? Well, you don't need that.
Yeah.
But you do need a 1C. And I understand. And part of the problem is, and Keith Jones talked about it as part of the Carnival tour, the fact that the NHL came out and said, oh, yeah, the cap's going to go up the next 3 years, and we're going to tell you by how much it's going up. That really killed this upcoming free agent draft class because teams were like, oh, shit.
It's like, you know what? We need to
teams are going to have a shitload of money. We better re-sign our people.
Like
we're
right
going to
now.
have to overpay them. Yeah, we're going to have to overpay them now because we're not going to be able to outbid.
Yeah, and you saw that with Winnipeg with Kyle Connor. That was a perfect example of that because Connor could have demanded a ton of money, and Winnipeg was like, "Oh, wait a minute, we do need to re-sign him for 8 years at 90, whatever they signed him."
Yeah, Kirill Kaprizov,
$14
million a year, right?
Yeah,
that's a lot.
And
of money.
They locked him up long term in that regard.
Yeah.
So now the only question with Minnesota is, do they sign Quinn Hughes? And I have a feeling they will, because they know that the cap's going to go up.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're Minnesota, you don't want to walk away, especially after the price they paid to get him. In that regard, yeah, I totally get that. And that, so there's another great example of a 1D defenseman, right? Oh God, we could have had Quinn Hughes. Do you understand the price that Minnesota had to pay in order to get there?
The price. The price to get there, but the problem with Quinn Hughes was you had no clue that you could lock him up long term.
Exactly.
Minnesota's taking that gamble.
Yeah.
We were not in a position to make that gamble.
Yeah. And they need to. And it's paying for them. They're second in the Central right now.
Yeah.
And they're
so people look at the 26 not the draft class, the 26 free agent class, and they say, well, you're not getting 1C, 1D there.
Yeah.
We're probably not picking top 5 in this draft unless we continue to slide the way we are. So yes, the path has gotten harder than we initially thought.
Sure.
But I don't think it makes sense now to tear it all down and go through another 5 years of crap.
Yeah.
To build it up. I still think you can get there. It's just you have to be creative. And this is where we're going to see, is Danny Briere creative? I think they need that opportunity because up until now, they've been cleaning up the mess left behind by the previous 2 regimes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hextall left us terrible. Fletcher made it worse.
Yeah.
You know, but the difference between watching this team struggle now and the team struggle 4 years ago was the team struggling now, as you keep pointing out, is the 3rd youngest team in the NHL.
Yes.
Not a team with Kevin Hayes and aging Claude Giroux and aging Jake Voracek and aging Wayne Simmons. That was a problem.
And, oh, by the way, no defense. I mean, I can't even remember a defenseman back in the day. I mean, we had Andy McDonald, or was that even?
Oh, God.
Right? I mean, old McDonald had a farm.
Stop it.
So we're fine. Hunter Brody, I get it. I'm just worried about him.
Now, look.
Personally,
we're not saying it's going to work out.
Yeah,
it might not.
It might not.
There's a possibility it might.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's too soon to me to say fire everybody and start over again.
Totally agree.
I just don't think you can do that.
I don't think you can do that either. Yeah, agreed. All right, so the third one. This concern about playing the old youth, Steve.
The old youth?
The old
as opposed to the young youth?
As opposed to the young youth? What the heck's going on there? Playing the youth came up during the entire thing. That really the Keith Jones and Briere kind of emphasized to the coaching staff, hey, listen, because we are the 3rd youngest team in the NHL, you got to make sure that they're getting the ice time that they need in order to show up and play. And, of course, this led to all kinds of controversy as well in around the media. So I guess Tocchet's tendency on playing the youth, I guess, would be a concern. Or his lack of playing the youth, if that's the case. So what would be your concernometer there?
So this came up because the question was, how do you walk the fine line between trying to win and recognizing that young players need time to develop? And Keith Jones was like, yeah, sometimes we have to remind the coaches. And he didn't specifically say they had to do, they sat Tocchet down like, hey, play the young guys more. He didn't say they've done that. He said, and it's probably something that comes up all the time. I'm at like a 3. Tocchet does tend to sometimes maybe play veterans a little more.
A little too much Christian Dvorak, maybe.
Perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also go too far the other way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, Michkov needs to be getting 18, 19 minutes a night.
Yeah. And it's like, not really.
Not
now.
You can.
In a way.
You can ruin a player.
Yeah.
A young player by throwing them to the wolves and just saying, okay, you get 20 minutes a night, just go out and do it.
Yeah.
Okay. That can wreck confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I still believe to this day, Ivan Provorov was hurt by the fact that he was probably started too early and given way too much ice time too early
100%.
to develop as a defenseman.
Yep. Especially
he could have been much better, I think, if he was handled differently.
Especially let him grow as a player and not just throwing him into the NHL immediately. Yeah.
You as a coach, you want to put players in situations where they can succeed and where they show that they can handle it. And if they can't handle it, then you're going to have to back them off. And I wonder a little bit if, like Michkov in particular, it's like Tocchet puts him in things. It's like, well, he's not handling the situation the way he should, so I'm going to back him off of this a little bit. And the same with other young players, right? He needs to give young players ice time to develop, absolutely, but he needs to pick and choose the right times to put them in so that they're not going out there getting scored on every time they're on the ice and coming back and saying, "Oh God, what am I doing?
What am I doing?" Yeah,
and
you lose.
And now they're down on themselves, and they. So it's a 3 because I think that gets hyped a little too much.
Yeah,
but I do think Tocchet sometimes he says he's not paying attention to ice time in the moment. Right,
which makes sense. If you're well, the Bolts are flying out there. You're not worried about, oh, wait a minute, how many minutes have I given Michkov? I'm down 2. You know, that kind of a deal. It's like you're more concerned about being down 2 than you are concerned. And I totally get that. I mean, when the Bolts are flying like that, it's very, very difficult to try and figure that out. I would agree. I think a 3 is the right. I was originally going to go 2, but I think 3. Would I like to see Michkov play a little bit more? Oh, absolutely. But if he's on the ice, he's given up on the ice and not playing well defensively, you're not putting him out there. And I don't care. Like, you're trying to win. I totally get that. But you're not going to put players out there that consistently giving up goals
who aren't
either.
Scoring.
And who aren't scoring.
Players
on top
who
of that.
aren't scoring and not playing defense.
100%. Yeah,
That's
it goes
the key.
both sides. Yeah, it goes both sides of the same coin here. You know, that kind of a deal.
Zegras defensively is not the greatest, okay? But he was putting up a point a game for like half the season. So, yeah, you're
throwing him out there. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, for him to score. Same with Travis Konechny. Same deal. You know, he had that very slow start, and then all of a sudden he started warming up and all that kind of stuff. So there's a nuance in this whole thing. And again, I don't think we're trying to apologize for Tocchet here. There's a lot to manage.
No.
But at the same time, we both understand where he's coming from and the fact that, okay, yeah, I've got this influx of youthful talent, and I want to make sure that they develop and turn into National Hockey League players that can contribute on a nightly basis, both offensively and defensively. That's ultimately what we're looking for here, really, in regards to this. That kind of thing continues. And if you're able to do that, that's great. That's what we all want of all of our youthful players here. But at the same time, you know, if they're not producing, that's on the player also as well. There's a lot of responsibility on the player to do that. So,
yes,
again, I don't know. Maybe this entire 2 weeks, maybe it was the frustration of the losing streak. I don't know. I think a lot of this was much ado about nothing either. With all 3 of these topics.
Yeah, I agree. You
know,
it's the media and the insane fans blowing stuff up out of proportion.
Yeah.
I don't.
And I get it. The Eagles lost, and it's like, what are you going to do if you're a Flyers fan or an Eagles fan? You want to hop on the next thing because you want to see.
Well,
a win. I get it.
It's a culmination as Philadelphia sports fans, right?
Yeah.
The Eagles get out. You're missing out on these who we think are top flight offensive coordinators to replace Kevin Patullo.
Sure.
The Phillies are staying pat. They're not bringing in anybody new and exciting. The Sixers, Paul George just gets suspended for 25 games for taking drugs. Like, things are not going well here.
Right.
And the Flyers are not helping. So I understand the frustration.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Remember those rainbow sherbet push pops you loved as a kid? The ones in the round cardboard tube?
Yeah, I kind of remember those. Yeah.
They were actually hot garbage. I was always I was always a Jell-O pudding pop man, but we probably can't talk about that anymore.
Nah.
Well, W has recreated the safe one, but in their popular W Energy formula, nostalgic, retro, and perfectly flavored. So visit W at their website, that's w.gg, or download the app to your phone. If you use our promo code, that's men in orange and black, remember the ampersand, not the word and, you can get $4 off this $40 tub or 10% off of others in W's inventory. Make sure to check it out. All right, going into the third period, I'm going to now put my coaching hat on.
Yeah.
And we're going to look at a couple of goals, and we're going to see why, yes, we need a 1C, we need a 1D, but unless you can get some of the defensive lapses out of your game, that really doesn't matter. When we talked a couple weeks ago about team discipline, particularly defensive zone, you're going to see what I'm talking about in these two clips from the NHL goal visualizer, which is pretty cool.
Before we do that, we'll flash up on screen here the actual play so you can see it here on the screen.
Yeah, so the first goal we're going to look at is J.G. Pajot's second goal for the Islanders in the 4-0 Flyers loss.
And it's pretty brutal, as you guys saw there in the 10-second clip that we have up there. So, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Go ahead, Steve. What do you got?
Ends up all alone, basically.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at the defensive coverage and why this ended up happening. And this is the stuff that they need to clean up. You hear Taka talking in his press conferences about backdoor goals and two guys going to one guy. This will show you what's going on.
Yeah.
So here we go. The puck is coming down into the Islander end. Okay. Pajot is 44 on this goal visualizer thing. He's double circled. So you're going to be watching him eventually.
Yeah.
But the Flyers are in the middle of a change as the puck is dumped deep. So you see they're making some changes. D'Angelo has the puck down at the goal line. Pajot is swung low. The Islanders, I believe, are also making some changes at this point.
Pretty decent coverage, I would say. Early on.
Coverage is okay so far. Okay, now, D'Angelo moves the puck up to Anders Lee here at center ice. And Emil Andre is with him. So we're okay. That's fine.
Yep.
Lee gets possession of the puck. Andre is right on him. We're still okay. We got 3 Islanders in their own end. We have one other one hanging out here. There's a change going on. Looks like Sanheim is
coming off
Risto.
Yep.
Dvorak's okay. Konechny's at center ice. Everything's okay.
Yep.
Okay, so Anders Lee takes the puck up against the wall. But as you just see here, now Konechny is moving closer. Dvorak is moving closer. Risto is coming out onto the ice. He's got, I think this was Siplikov.
I think it is Siplikov 7. Yep.
Number 7. And here's Pajot in the Islander zone in the middle of the ice. Okay.
Now, to me, if you would stop it there, really Konechny at that point does not need to come to lead because Andre's marking him. So really what you want Konechny to do is still be in the middle of the ice because you can see here, Pajot is wide open in the middle of the ice. Really all it takes is really for Lee to kind of chip it, and you got a 2-on-1 all of a sudden. Essentially kind of forming.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Yeah, I actually think Konechny helping on the wall is not the main problem. The main problem to me is Dvorak was out here, and he's now the third man into this tight little space.
Yeah. So you're having essentially 4 Flyers. Look at that. 4 Flyers below the dots, essentially, and you've got 3 Islanders north of those dots against 1 defenseman.
Yeah.
I mean, that's terrible in that regard.
So Lee chips out to Siplikov. Dvorak is actually okay. He's getting back to Siplikov. But Risto is also moving towards Siplikov. Keep it going. Risto is now, Andre is coming back in. Dvorak at this point probably has realized that Pajot is unmarked over here. And all Siplikov has to do is move the puck to Pajot.
Yep.
Wide open chance on Ersson.
Yeah.
And all because, again, you're okay. You're changing. It's fine. You're okay. You're still okay.
Still fine. Yeah.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe so Dvorak ended up along the wall here. He's actually down here. Dvorak coming this way, but Konechny, the two of them are converging. One of them has to realize, yeah, we can't both be going.
And that's my point from earlier. If you have Konechny more towards the middle of the ice, he's marking Pajot, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, you could get a Dvorak to put pressure on Anders Lee there on 27, where you don't have that. The middle of the ice is wide open. Middle of the ice is exposed big time. And all it takes is for Lee is really to chip it off the boards onto Ziplikov. And they got a 2-on-1 immediately.
Well, yeah, he sends it off. Risto is making the right play here. He's heading towards Ziplikov because he's the one with the puck. The trailer's got to pick up Pajot, whoever that is. And Dvorak does not pick him up until it's too late.
Until it's too late. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's one of the things we're talking about when you have too many guys going to one player with the puck. You're puck watching, and you're letting guys go in the back door.
Yeah, and that is so key as you key up the second goal here, Steve, the Kings 1-0. That is so important from a defensive standpoint. And again, like I mentioned before, when you see those 4 dots, that's massive. You have all the Flyers converging on just 1/3 of that ice. And it's like, oh my goodness, you have so much wide open space. If you're the Islanders, you're licking your chops. All you got to do, quick conversion to a 2-1, and you saw that happen, and they converted big time.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, so the second goal we're looking at here is the Adrian Kempe's first goal, the 1-0 goal for the LA Kings. And it happens off a face-off. Now, it looks like Dvorak was tossed, so Konechny was taking the face-off. Drysdale is lined up along the wall opposite to Kempe, and you got 3 guys bunched on the hash mark towards near the net.
Yeah, and again, Kempe there is circled number 9 in
Double
white.
circled, yeah.
Yep.
Right. Okay, so this actually looked a little weird to me at first after the draw because you're going to see Drysdale's going to end up coming up here, and then he peels back. And I was like, that was weird. Why did he do that?
Yeah.
He was the closest guy to this point man. He could have tried to stop the shot, but didn't.
I mean, that's Drew Doughty,
actually,
right? Yeah.
8. Drew
Doughty is 8. Yeah.
Eyesight from here with the white is a little hard to see. So he's closest to Doughty, could have blocked the shot. I actually don't think Drysdale is in the wrong, as it turns out, after watching this a couple times. But you'll see what happens. So Konechny loses the draw to Doughty. You'll see Drysdale's coming out, but he's marked with Kempe. All right. Dvorak is heading out towards the other point man, 44, and you've got York staying home. And disappearing somewhere in here is Grebenkin because he must be covered.
I think Grebenkin is in the midst of all of that 10-14 nonsense.
He's in this clump right here.
So it's not looking, I mean, really from that picture, right? I think York is in the right position. Dvorak's in the right position. And I would argue Drysdale's in the right position, but you have Drew Doughty now receiving the puck wide open. Grebenkin's not coming out of the offensive zone to get to him. Yeah.
So here's what happens. Okay, I'll roll it a little further. So Doughty's got possession. Do you see Drysdale back off there?
Yeah.
He backs off. Kempe has gone to the wall. I don't know what Tocchet's coverages are supposed to be. You know, to me, a simple coverage, you've got the defense. One defenseman's responsible for this quadrant. The other defenseman's responsible for this quadrant. Wing responsible up here. Wing up here.
There. Yep.
And then the center floats wherever the third extra guy is.
So do you think Drysdale's really just marking Kempe just because it's his, like, that quadrant of the defensive zone there?
I think it is, but I also wonder if this is being a little bit too much of a slave to the system.
Yeah.
He's coming out. He realizes, okay, Kempe could drop down. I'm a little high. And you know how I love positionless hockey. In an ideal world, Drysdale would realize I'm closest guy to the puck. I should get out and try to get a block or a tip or something.
Sure.
And everyone else would readjust. But we don't live in my theoretical positionless hockey world. So Drysdale is probably like, I got to get back down to make sure if Kempe drops that I'm there. But the bigger problem is you see who's coming. When I roll this a little further, you're going to see it's like Konechny and Grebenkin are tied to the hip.
Yeah.
Because they're both coming out on Doughty.
And that's not good.
So Cam York is left with 2 guys down low by himself.
Yeah.
Okay? One of the 2 should have stayed back to help here, and it probably should have been Konechny, one, because he was at the center position on the faceoff.
And didn't need to go out. Yeah.
And did not need to go out. And secondly, because he's the veteran. So he should recognize having taken the face off, I need to at least initially take the responsibility of the center until we can regroup.
Quick counter argument. I mean, the only thing I totally agree with you. I would think the only reason I think Konechny went out there was that Gulbenkian was caught up in between 10 and 14. So it's like you've got that mass, and he's not getting, because I agree with you. I think because Konechny's responsibility in the defensive zone is to win that draw. He was not able to do that. Puck goes back to Doughty. Gulbenkian's got to get out there. He has to be able to get out there to at least block the shot, put pressure on him, whatever the case is. But because he didn't, Konechny probably thinks, oh, God, I have to get out there. The whole point is both of those forwards are out there. They shouldn't. Well, but I think it's Gulbenkian's responsibility to get out there. I could be wrong.
Because of where they lined up, it's absolutely Gulbenkian's responsibility because he's in a wing and Konechny was in center position.
Yep.
And I think, but Konechny should have stayed home, and you'll see why in a second.
Yep.
But whoever's responsibility it is, I think you have a problem because neither one of them is a center, so they don't recognize the center responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? So Doughty's going to get a shot on net that Vladar is going to make a save, but because York is covering two guys, he can't corral the rebound.
Yeah.
So you'll see shot on net, it goes back out. Whoever 14 is gets a rebound shot because York has two guys to be responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
And now I roll. The second shot trickles off to the left side of the net. Now, all 5 Flyers are going to end up
below the dot,
on top of each other.
God, look at that. And I think Vladar is trying to make, he's trying to cover the puck, if I remember right, on the highlight.
Yes, he's on his hands and knees trying to cover the puck, and you got 5 Flyers messing around. You only have 1 King in that whole episode.
All below the dot, which is not good. Not good.
And you're going to see the puck goes behind, 10 feeds it out in front to 14. I can't tell from this. I'm going to guess York was looking this way and not at the guy behind him.
Yeah.
And now you've got all this donut. Kempe is just going to slide out and get a pass for a one-timer.
And puts it in.
Because you lost coverages. And it all started off the face-off because you had 2 forwards going to 1-point man, and you couldn't get the rebound corralled because you only had 1 defenseman in position.
Yeah, you could see also, too, Drysdale, so you think about with Drysdale, too, going out and then coming back, but he also looked like he was just a teensy bit lost, a little bit. And especially when the puck was trying to be covered up by Vladar. And I think if he's a little bit more back and he's able to kind of just, with his stick, settle it down, they're able to corral it along the far post.
But counterpoint.
Go ahead.
Again, if the center position, whoever that's supposed to be, is playing his position properly, you're okay because it's 2-on-2 down low, and Drysdale has the third forward marked in Kempe on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was really the discombobulation off the face-off of where guys were supposed to go, and this is not something a 1C or a 1D fixes. Yeah. You got to get the house in order.
Yes.
Whether that's more practice time, whatever. This is the kind of stuff we have to correct now before the 1C and the 1D come in.
Part of foundational hockey, really. It's just knowing your responsibility at that moment in time. And you could definitely tell in both of those two breakdowns, Steve, and I think we should do this going forward on the pod. Whenever we see a breakdown like this, it's important to highlight the importance of staying in your lane, the importance of your responsibility on the ice when it comes to the Islanders. And, you don't always have to be that extra help, that kind of a deal. You have to have the responsibility of your coverages in your defensive area is so key, because if you're not, you're all over the place, and it doesn't take long for NHL caliber player to notice those things, to turn it into a 2-on-1. Or, whenever you see a defensive zone faceoff draw, you lose it. The responsibility of you getting out to the point, because that's all Gulbenkian really had to do. Get out to the point, put pressure on Doughty to at least pass it off to the wing, or take at least a shot on that, block it, and then, the Kings are racing back on their own defensive zone. Both those two things are huge, and they led to bad goals this last couple of weeks.
This is the stuff you clean up. Yeah. This is why you don't just establish a losing culture by just, all right, young guys, just go out there and lose.
Yeah.
so we can get high draft picks.
Or you certainly,
because
you don't reboot the rebuild at that point, right? I mean, this is foundational type stuff. Yeah.
Fundamentals. Get those forward, because your centers are going to get tossed out of a face-off occasionally.
Yeah.
Learn what your responsibility is if you're taking the face-off, what you should do if the puck is lost.
Yeah. That comes through time and effort. So there you go.
All right. So now you want me to take off my coach's hat and put my GM hat
Let's put the GM hat on here.
What are we going to do?
So what we're going to do here, since we have so much time, we're not going to preview any games or anything like that. My question to you is, who would you re-sign? Is there anybody you would want to trade with the NHL trade deadline coming up? Just looking at the Flyers roster here. So, I mean, right now, just scrolling up, they have about projected cap space about $7 million, $88 million of a $95 million cap limit. Their current space is $19.7 million, which I don't know how they figured that out. If I highlight over it, let's see. Annual cap hit that can be added to the roster without exceeding the upper limit based on the current roster. So this is, I guess, with LTIR placements and things along those lines. Mm-hmm. So I guess my question to you is, we have a lot of injuries. Obviously, Sam Erson's out, Rodrigo Abels is out, Tyson Forster, of course, out. Month to month, really, I think out for the season. Is there anyone, looking at the forward specifically, is there anyone here, Steve, that you would I guess there's a two-pronged question. One is, if you're going to try and make the playoffs, right? If you're going to try and do that, who would you move, looking at the roster? And two, if you're not going to move, if you're going to be like, okay, let's just hang back, play the rest of the season out, who is the one guy or a couple of guys that you would want to have signed coming up? Because you got a couple of UFAs in there and a couple of RFAs.
Yeah, well, Delorier and Carl Grundstrom, those are fourth-line guys. It doesn't matter. Rodrigo Abels, frankly, the same thing. It's fourth-line guys. I'm not worried about whether they
both over in the 30s, I think, too.
Yeah, whether they sign or not is neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Trevor Zegras obviously is an RFA. You're going to want to do something with him eventually. I don't think there's a rush to do it.
Do you want him signed before July, I would think, right?
Well, yeah, certainly you would want to do that, because you don't want an offer sheet to come in. Mm. You were like, well, if you want to make the playoffs. If I want to make the playoffs, that's the thing that I think Danny is clear, and I'm 100% behind this. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be trading guys for rentals to try and make the playoffs.
100%. I would agree with that.
We said that at the beginning of the season, not to do it. We said it when Forster was injured, not to do it.
Yep.
And he's not going to do it.
And they're not going to do it.
And so I'm not trading anybody at the moment. If the deadline comes and goes and nothing happens, I'm not going to lose my shit over it.
I agree. Yeah.
Because I'm not moving really anybody on this list. Nobody on this list is really like a dump them for picks, right?
I don't.
You've kind of gotten rid of all those guys.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the only one that I could really see that would be a movable commodity would be Owen Tippett. But you just signed him to a multiple-year extension.
You're not moving Owen Tippett,
but you're not moving him. No.
If you're moving Owen Tippett, it's to get something valuable, not we're going to get a first-round pick.
To push for the playoffs. Right. You make that move, and they're not doing that. So, yeah, I agree with that.
So, I don't move anybody here unless a name comes up of somebody who's young enough, fits the timeline, age-wise, and has some modicum of team control or can be signed.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not moving any of these guys.
Look, amazing how young, and you can see what I mentioned, the third youngest team in the NHL, Barkey at 20, Grabenkin at 22, Michkov 21, Brink at 24 years old, Forster at 24, Zegras at 24, Tippett at 26. These are young players.
Yeah.
And even Konecny, 28, that kind of deal. Maybe he's I don't know if he's at the peak of his career. I would argue there's probably like at least a couple more years right now. I don't think he's on the decline at all. That's just of the forwards.
No, not yet. No.
Yeah. So we scroll down to the defense. Here's the goaltender situation. Vladar, you've got 2 years. And Ersson, I think you say goodbye to. I don't think you
at the end of the season,
Yeah. Tomasino, that was the guy.
Well, the one thing I get, since he's an RFA.
Let me scroll up here.
Maybe they qualify him and just send him to the Phantoms. You know what I mean?
That could be. Yeah, for 1 year.
Emergency.
For 1 year, and then you'd let him go as a UFA, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, I certainly don't sign him to the big club.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think you
put him in
either
the Phantoms. Yeah.
you either try to bring up Kolosov as your backup, or you find another one, a backup on the market.
Yeah. Samheim, York, both long term. They're not going anywhere. Especially Samheim's not going anywhere. Risto.
So Risto is the one who you could say,
could you make an argument?
I could move him for a pick to try and help the draft, right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe get another. I mean, I don't know if who's out there that would be a young defenseman.
No, you're not getting a young defenseman for Risto.
Risto,
you're getting picks. Would be the idea.
Yeah, 31. Yeah, I would agree.
I don't know that with his injury history at this point, you're getting much of a Scott Lawton first round pick would be awesome for Risto. But it's hard to see that happening. I don't think you're getting anything valuable for Sealer. Emile Andre, I wouldn't move unless it was a trade for somebody coming to the roster like we talked about, who's not a rental and not an old guy, a younger guy with some term who could theoretically help to move the rebuild forward.
Do you re-sign Noah Juleson?
Because that to me depends. Yeah. That depends on what happens with Risto.
Okay.
If Risto is still here, I think you could let Juleson walk and have the seventh. Well, maybe not, because Risto's not a guy you'd make as your seventh defenseman.
Not at $5.1 million.
You'd like to have a veteran be your seventh guy who can sit out a lot of time and only rotate in when you need it. You don't want a young guy doing that. So I don't know. Depending on what else is out there in the veteran seventh defenseman market, maybe you re-sign Juleson. I don't know.
That's a tough one with Juleson because he has shown flashes of being very, very good.
Well, I mean, he's nothing special. He's not something you can't get elsewhere.
That's true. Yeah.
Other than the fact that he's been with Tocchet before, there's nothing really special to him. He's just a seventh guy. He can fill in nicely, but he's not moving the needle. If you replaced him with somebody else, it's not a big deal. But you'd have to have a veteran guy to do the sitting out thing, because if you don't play for 2 weeks, a veteran guy like Eric Johnson before him or Mark Stahl before, those guys can sit out because they're veterans. They've done their time. They understand what their role is, and they don't need to develop. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Younger guys, like you can't do that with them.
Drysdale offer sheet, I would think, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, you have to
sign him.
Yeah. I mean, he's right-handed shot.
You can't lose him.
You can't lose him. Yeah. Everything else is pretty much like will resolve itself after the end of the 25-26 season. So the Hayes contract will be off the books. The Lawton contract off the books. Cam Atkinson, who we bought out, that comes off the books. And 36, I couldn't believe he was 36 years old. Tomasino is an interesting case because, you traded for him for Samula in that deal with Pittsburgh. He has not seen the roster yet. He is, I think, at the AHL
Probably
level.
Won't.
I don't see.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's doesn't matter to me either.
I don't think so. So the only question then would be really on goaltender, I guess you could say, because if you let's just say
upgrade it.
You definitely have to upgrade, no question about it. And I agree with you. I think if you're going to re-sign Ersson, you have to put him in the Phantoms.
It's a minor league deal.
And it's got to be a minor league. You're called up at that 1 year, and you let him walk after for the 27 season. The only question is at that point, is the young goaltender Bjarnason, I think you said his name is?
Bjarnason.
If you have him ready to go for next year.
Well, that we have to evaluate after the end of the season.
And I
see how he developed at the Phantoms, if he needs more time down there, how he looks. I assume he's going to still be in development camp at his age, rookie camp. Maybe you sign a veteran for like a minimum 1 year deal, and if Bjarnason's ready, he can come in, and you can send the veteran down to the AHL. And if not, you have the veteran as a backup, or maybe Kolosov fits that role. Who knows?
Yeah, I think that's a big question, really, with Alexei Kolosov. I think there's an opportunity for him to do it,
opportunity, absolutely.
But he's shown too that he doesn't really take advantage of those opportunities, in some instances, in some parts of the game.
Well, I don't think, like I said before, I don't think he's gotten a fair shake up here this season yet.
I agree.
And he played the one game early in the year
Mm-hmm.
and looked fine, even though they lost. He came in relief of Aarson in the Pittsburgh game, and then the Ranger game was only partially his fault. So and that was at the beginning of running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off.
Pretty much.
Defense strategy. So I don't think he's had a fair opportunity to show his real worth in front of a team or behind a team that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So we have to just keep on monitoring him with the Phantoms.
Yeah. So,
all right. So we've resolved nothing as GMs. Now we're gonna close with a quick take on the Olympics. Who you got?
USA. Why not? You know,
Ooh.
why not? I mean,
well, we gotta.
If that costs me a
tell the
nationalist,
Kachuk
I don't
brothers
care.
they're not allowed to fight.
Yeah, they're probably not. My only
Tell them
question
they're not
is,
allowed to fight.
my only question is with the Italian organizers, how do you screw up an Olympic-sized rink by thinking it's an NHL-ish like rink? How does that even happen? Honest to God.
Well, it's supposed to be smaller than the NHL rink.
Yeah,
right? Like a couple feet.
something like a
I
couple
caught. I caught part of the women's USA Finland game earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's just bizarre because you think like, okay, it's Olympic. Like, how did the wires get crossed there? That's my only question. That is something I would love to be able to find out.
I don't think they play a lot of hockey in Italy. So
I don't think so either.
Probably plays into it.
Yeah.
Even though they have Team Italy in the tournament here.
Yeah.
I don't recognize a single name on the roster. I mean, if we're being honest, I think Team Canada is obviously the favorite. They've got all the firepower.
Big time.
Right. Crosby.
Yeah.
McKinnon. McDavid.
Yeah.
They've got the fire. Their only question marks are in net.
That's the big question mark. They have to outscore everybody, which they can. We're not going to lie here. They are loaded offensively. It would be terrific though. They can't make it out of the pool round. I mean, that would just be absolutely hilarious. I would love to see America do it, but I don't.
So would I.
I mean, but at the end of the day, I do think it's Canada's medal to look like. Canada has a gold medal in their hand. It's just a matter of them winning it. Really, at the end of the day, they're that good. They're that loaded. I think they showed in the Four Nations, all that kind of stuff. We're very scrappy. I will say that, especially you got Kachuk. Yeah, I think Matt Kachuk's playing in it, right? I think they're
both of them.
So there's going to be something going on between.
Yeah, but they can't fight.
That's true. That's very, very true.
Look, Team USA has got the goaltending advantage over Canada.
They do. Yes.
I think they might have a defense advantage over Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking at their roster. I mean, you're looking at Quinn Hughes, Zach Werenski, Jacob Slavin was a revelation at Four Nations. They've got Noah Hannafin, Charlie McAvoy.
They're loaded. They're
loaded defensively.
Yeah.
But they don't have the offensive firepower that Canada boasts.
That's going to be a big question for the American defensive front if you think about it, because it's like if you got that, I mean, it's a talented defensive core, no question. But you're going up against the likes of, like we mentioned before, Crosby, McDavid, and McKinnon, and all the rest that Canada's going to roll out. Can they hold up defensively against that tremendous offensive fireworks that Canada can bring? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, so if it's not Canada or the U.S., who do you like?
Well, I've always been a Finland guy. I've always loved the Finns. They've got a great,
I do.
They're
scrappy.
They're very scrappy. I always like a Sweden as well. I would have to say Finland. I think they would be the dark horse. They're the ones that kind of come in under the radar. No one really talks about them. And then all of a sudden, here they are in the gold medal game, and it's like, whoa, what the hell? That kind of. But I couldn't tell you who is on Team Finland's roster.
I could give you some names. Certainly Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah.
Sebastian Aho. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, Rupe Hintz from Dallas. They have Miro Heiskanen defensively from Dallas.
Yeah.
And you have to mention the big loss is there's no Barkov.
Yeah.
For the Olympics.
Yeah.
That's a big loss for them.
Yeah.
I think that really hurts them. I would think Sweden would have the advantage over Finland. Just because I think Sweden's deeper. Although they're not as strong as I think they have been in years past when they've had NHL players on the roster. And goaltending, I think, is a question for them as well.
Yeah.
Jacob Markstrom, Philip Gustafsson haven't exactly had the idealist of seasons.
Idealist of seasons, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you have Rasmus Dahlin at defense. That's good. But you also have 80-year-old Erik Karlsson. Maybe he can thrive because it's not.
Boy, and I thought Steven Stamkos. I thought Steven Stamkos was old. My God, that kind
of. But outside of that, I mean, I usually like the Czechs too. But I looked at their roster earlier. I don't think they've got much in the way. I mean, when they won in '98, they had Dominik Hasek as their goalie, one of the 3 best in the world.
Yeah.
And Jaromir Jagr was on the team, and he was probably the best player
in the world
at that time.
Yep.
So it made sense that they won.
Oh yeah.
Ever since then, they've kind of slid back, and I'm just looking at their roster now. I don't see the names that get it done for me.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be interesting
to me.
Yeah.
To me, it's if it's not Canada or the U.S., Sweden would be the one I think has the best chance. Maybe Finland, but like I said, without Barkov, that really hurts.
Yeah, they have 3 groups in the entire Olympics. So you have 4, essentially 4 in each group, and I think it's the top 2 that move on out of each group. So that would be 6, and then you play a knockout tournament.
I'm not sure about that because in 2022, I was looking this up earlier because I forgot.
Here it is. Yeah.
No.
Here it is. NHL.com says the tournament
right.
will feature all 12 teams playing 3 preliminary games in their respective groups. All 12 move on to a single elimination
playoff.
playoff.
4
get the bye.
Yeah. Yes. That's I was remembering it wasn't 22 because there was no NHL players.
No.
I was looking back at 2014, which was the last time NHL players were in.
Yeah.
I remembered Canada had won, but I forgot who they beat. It turned out it was Sweden.
It was Sweden.
But they did the same thing then. The top 4 teams got buys into a second round, and the other 8 had a play-in.
This is interesting. A couple of the writers at NHL.com, Brian Compton, managing editor of NHL.com, has Canada, Sweden, U.S. as all group winners. He has the gold medal to the United States with Canada the silver. Bronze goes to Sweden. Best goalie is Jake Ottinger. I mean, we have Jake Ottinger in the back there,
Well, yeah, you got Jake Ottinger or Connor Hellebuck.
That's a great one, too. That is a great one,
Absolutely.
too. Quinn Hughes, best defenseman. Crosby is the best forward. MVP, Jack Eichel. So that's interesting there. On the flip side, we've got another columnist of NHL.com, Canada, Sweden, U.S. as group winners. Canada, the gold medal winner. U.S. silver, bronze to Sweden. Hellebuck is best goalie. Cale Makar, best defenseman. McKinnon, Nate McKinnon is the best forward with Connor McDavid is the MVP of the Olympics. So the Olympic tournament. So it's interesting. Back and forth. Couple Sweden's gold medal. Canada, Sweden, another Canada, U.S.
I think that, in years past, that wouldn't be an upset. I think this year it would be an upset.
Yeah.
Just looking at the rosters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Yeah. And then you got Germany with Leon Draisaitl and everybody else on the German side.
That hunchback.
Yeah.
Shout out. The oldest, I saw this earlier today, the oldest Olympian in Italy for this Olympics.
Yeah.
Pierre-Edouard Bellemare.
Oh, look at that. Oh.
Good for him. I liked him when he was here.
Yeah, he was a great player. He's
playing for Team France. They have no chance. but good for him. Like him.
Might as well, right? Let's give it a shot. Yeah. All right.
Well, we get a break from Flyers misery for 2 weeks, which is nice.
Yeah.
Hopefully none of our players will get injured over in Italy. They can come back in a few weeks, and we'll start up again fresh with a fresh Michkov and head into that stretch run to make a chance at the playoffs. And,
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, man.
So until then, we'll have to watch. I don't know what reruns are. I was watching the Luge earlier. I would never
do that.
Ever do that. 80 miles an hour on a sled on ice. No thanks.
Where you're basically on your backside, kind of just going like, oh my gosh, yeah.
There was one U.S. guy I watched before I came down to record.
Yeah.
He slid up the wall and was almost like
the tippy top.
No.
It's like hard pass on that. Yeah.
No luge for me.
Exactly.
All right, and no luge for the rest of you. We will see you in 2 weeks to preview the next slate of Flyers games. But until then, let's go USA and Flyers.